This session will be discussing about fossils and the process of formation of fossils, that is fossilization, and also the types of fossils involved and what are the necessary conditions for the fossils to form. Prior to that, we'll check out what exactly the word fossil means. The word fossil is derived from the Latin, which means fodere. Fodere is to dig up. What we are going to dig up? We are going to dig up the earth in order to get these organic remains. Thus, a fossil refers to anything that is excavated from the earth. We are going to dig the layers of the earth, and whatever the organic material we are going to get, that is nothing but a fossil. So these are the organic remains which we are going to take them from the womb of the earth. Now, how exactly the fossils are formed? The image in front of us is nothing but the process of formation of sedimentary rocks. Now, where the fossils are formed? The fossils are formed in the sedimentary rock. What exactly the sedimentary rock are? We have types of rocks like sedimentary rock, igneous rock. Igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of the cooled magma. When the volcano erupted, we had magma. This magma is going to cool down. Cooling may be either below the surface of the earth or above the surface of the earth. When rocks are formed from such cooled magma, we are going to address them as igneous rock. And fossils are not formed in this igneous rock because temperature will be very high in these igneous rock, as it is like magma from the volcanoes. This temperature is going to destroy all the organic content of the organism. That's the reason fossils are not formed in the igneous rock. Fossils are mainly formed in the sedimentary rocks. This is the entire process of how exactly the sedimentary rocks are formed. When a river flows, it is going to carry along with it pieces of gravel followed by sand, broken rocks and other materials. Right, these materials, they actually flow along the river water. When they reaches the lake or the sea, all these material are going to settle down. That is what the first figure tells us, that these all the eroded sediments, they are going to join the lake or sea along the river which is flowing, and after reaching the bed, they are going to settle down there. This settling at the bottom itself is called as sediment. That is the word itself is called as sediment. Now you can even take a glass full of water and add some mud, sand, gravel into it, shake it properly and allow it to stand for hours, for a whole night. Morning you are going to see that all the mud particles along with the sand, gravel, rock, this, that, everything gets settled down, and what you are going to get, the superficial transparent liquid. Right, whatever has got settled down is nothing but a sediment. Now the same process is going to continue, and many layers are going to see the second picture. Many layers are going to settle one above the other. It leads to formation of layers. Now the upper layers are formed. The upper layer is going to create a pressure on the lower layers. As a result, what happens? Whatever water is present in them, that water will be squeezed out. This is called as compaction. This is what the second image tells us. So layer after layer, these layers get deposited. Pressure is created because something one above the other. Obviously, when you are going to place something one above the other, pressure will be created, and that pressure, it will make the water to squeeze out. With the help of a salt, these layers get glued together to form a rock. That is called as cementation. More layers and strata for compactation occurs. Compaction is because of the pressure created by the upper layer on the below layers, lower layers. Water is squeezed out. That squeezing creates a compaction. Now, who will come into picture? The salt crystals. These salt, they are going to glue or are going to hold these layers together. This process is called as cementation. In this way, rock is formed. Such rock, we are going to call it as a sedimentary rock. And these rocks are best for the formation of the fossils. Now, checking about the necessities of the fossilization. What all conditions are required for the formation of fossil? First thing, when the basic thing, when an animal or an organism or a human being, a plant, whoever dies, when they come in contact with soil, what is the result? The microorganism present in the soil, mainly the saprophytic bacteria followed by fungi, they are going to attack the organism body, and the decaying takes place. Decaying turns whatever mineral present in our body, right from the carbon, hydrogen, everything goes back to the soil. That is conversion of the body back to the soil. That is nothing but a decomposition. When such a decomposition is going to occur, we are not going to we are not going to have the formation of the fossil. So what is the primemost thing to prevent the decomposition of the body, decomposition of the organism body? Doesn't matter it is a plant or an animal. So these organisms, when they are buried in this sedimentation, the decaying thing is reduced. That is bacteria, that is saprophytic bacteria and fungi, they are not going to attack these organisms. Why? Because as layers are formed, these organisms, when they are like compressed between these layers, organism will not come in contact with them. That's the reason decaying is not possible. When decaying is not possible, these organisms will be there in the dead form. That is what we are going to call it as fossils. So the necessity condition for fossilization is a reduced decay or complete loss of decomposition. Favors the preservation of these organisms, which is nothing but fossilization. Secondly, the nature of plants and animals. Harder parts of the plants and animals favors fossilization. Like we can quote an example. We won't have much fossils of bryophytes followed by fungi and that of bacteria. Why? Because these are the soft-bodied organisms. So fossilization won't favor in these soft-bodied. If you go for the higher organisms like gymnosperms, angiosperms, dinosaurs, we have a fossil record of them. Why? Because they have got the hard part, and preserving the hard part favors fossilization. So next thing will be nature of the rock and time period and availability of less oxygen. All these are going to favor the fossilization. Nature of the rock, in the sense, just now we quoted an example of a igneous rock, because the temperature is very high in these igneous rock. They are going to destroy all the organic content of the organism. That's the reason fossilization is not possible. Whereas in sedimentary rock, it favors the fossilization. So nature of the rock and time period. Longer the time period, you are going to get good fossil. Followed by less availability of oxygen. In the sense, more the availability of oxygen, there are chances that organism may come and attack. That's the reason availability of less oxygen favors fossilization. Apart from that, minerals present in hot springs. Most of the areas, hilly areas, have these springs which are containing hot water in them. That's the reason we are going to address them as hot springs. Even these hot springs favors fossilization. How? How, in the sense, these hot springs will be having a huge amount of minerals embedded in them. So these minerals, for example, there is a hot spring. When an organism part like a flower or a twig or any organism part is going to fall in that hot water, minerals present in that hot spring are going to coat around that organism. This coating, we are going to call it as an encapsulation. Even that favors the formation of the fossils. These were some of the requirement or necessity for the fossil formation. Thank you.